Alright, hey guys, so today we're going to go over Beavertail assault packs, and I'm gonna say that this was a kind of a request that somebody sent me. One of the coolest things that I've noticed happening since I started doing this is guys from my career field will send me a message or something. They'll tell me they got this issue and see if I can come up with a gear solution for it. So I think that's pretty cool, and that makes the whole thing worthwhile for me. So if none of you guys subscribe, no harm, no foul. That's made it worthwhile. All right. So we've got three different options in front of us. Starting over here, we've got the Platatac pack, and then we've got the Eagle Beavertail assault pack, and the Eagle EOD assault pack. All right. So three different options, more or less the same solution, but they're a little bit different in size as you go up. So I believe the Platatac is the smallest one. The Eagle is a lot closer than I remembered it being, but that's the Yote or the Beavertail assault pack. I don't remember the difference. One might have a removable beaver tail, but mine does not. And then the biggest one there on the right is the actual EOD Beavertail pack, which has a full frame sheet, a waist belt, and a removable beaver tail. All right, so when the question was posed to me, I got a real rough list of what the guy was looking to carry, so I've kind of loaded it out that way, and I'll show you guys how that works. So I only have it in the smallest one here because I just wanted to show that it was feasible in that one, and if it fits in there, it'll fit in any of them. All right, so looking at the outside of this thing, they're all constructed very, very similar to each other. The Platatac has some loop field up here, and then it's got a smaller pocket down below. Now the smaller pocket, or the outer pocket on all of these, is almost identical. They're basically the same size. They'd fit a pair of 31s pretty well, a pair of 15s, no issues. You could put some hand tools in there. Maybe a 200 round box mag. I'm not 100% on that, but you could fit a 55-90 in there. A lot of different options. It's a pretty hardy size pocket. All right. The external face is a little bit different on all of these. The Platatac has elastic loops, so chem lights or something like that, or anything that you're comfortable having exposed on the outside of your pack. Moving up from there, the Beavertail on this one is not removable, but it does have a good bit of room. You can see I've got a Chia in here with no issues at all. There's plenty of room in there. You could even stick a couple blocks on the side of that if you wanted to, maybe a cold weather layer or some snivel gear. It would fit pretty well. All right, so the Chia fits in there, no issues at all. That comes out easy peasy. All right, and then on the Platatac, you've got a Molle field here. Now it wouldn't be the easiest to thread some pouches down below there, but you could definitely keep a couple spare mags up there. Or any other tools if you needed, some pistol mag pouches or some tacos for, a flashlight or Gerber or something like that. It'd work really well there, and it really wouldn't impede you getting to the Chia. Okay. You've also got a little bit more loop up top there. And then looking at the inside of this thing, I didn't really load it out here. But I have a full-size IV bag and 4 blocks of C4 in there. All right, so IV bag, 4 blocks. There was still some usable space in there, so you could again fit some more cold weather stuff, a rain jacket, some more tools, some smaller charges, maybe some deck cord or something like that. It would fit in there no problem. You can see that you've got a hanger for your bladder in here. You also have a tie-down loop, and then possibly the coolest part of this thing, depending on how you're looking at it, is Platatac has added a bunch of organization in here. So you've got this little flip out pocket here, and then it's going to get kind of tricky to see, but you have a mesh pocket at the top here that's about as deep as your hand, and then there's one more even further down in there, so if you wanted to keep like an E&E kit or something like that you didn't need quick access to, and you almost wanted to forget that it's there, you've got another pocket in there on that front plate or front face. And then looking at the side pockets, these are some pretty hardy sized pockets here. So on one side I have my hook and line kit in the Bond Gear tool roll. That was in one of the earlier videos, so all the same tools in there. It fit just fine and zipped up pretty easy. And on the other side here, you've got the entire bag of line from the 0-point hook and line kit. All right, so plenty of line there. Looking at the back of this thing, it's got a Hypalon type material, so if that IV bag bursts or you've got a water bladder in there or something that bursts, theoretically it's not going to soak through. It has Molle attachment with the Velcro securing method. I'm a big fan of that because then you don't have to worry about snaps failing, and you can repair it a little bit easier. And then the Platatac also comes with a pretty good set of shoulder straps. I've got those taken off because I typically have it on a zip-off panel. All right, so that is more or less what the guy wanted to see inside of there, and it will for sure fit in the other ones. So I'm going to pause and then we'll show you the other ones. All right, looking at the Eagle pack, the smaller Eagle pack here. So I believe it has a little bit smaller internal volume actually than the Platatac, but it is a little bit longer. All right, so looking at the external, so this thing, you've again got the smaller pocket down here on the front face. You've got some loop, and then some Molle daisy chain. All right, so not elastic on there. Looking in the pocket, no organization, but very similar volume, perhaps not quite as deep as the Platatac. You've got a pocket up here on the top of the Beavertail. And then since it was so similar in size, I just wanted to confirm that it would still fit everything. So you can see the Chia fits in the Beavertail just fine. You've got more Molle webbing daisy chain there. You have a pocket on the face here that only goes to this stitch line, so it is not full length. Looking on the inside, still have our IV bag. Four blocks in what would normally be the hydration sleeve. Right, you can see this zipper in here. There is a thin plastic frame sheet on this one. The Platatac does not have that. There is no internal organization in here. There's also not a hanger for a bladder, but there is a bladder routing hole in there. Looking at the side pockets, they are very similar in size to the Platatac. They might be just a hair smaller. They don't have Molle on the face. But they do open up nice and big. If anything, you might have to use a smaller grade of line as opposed to the 0-point stuff to fit the same length in there, and possibly pare down that tool roll if that's something that works for you. But they do fit a very similar quantity. The Beavertail is significantly deeper. That might be in part because I got this pack used, and this elastic might just have a little bit less springiness to it at this point in time. I'm not sure. Looking at the back, it does have Molle attachments on it, and I do believe they're supposed to come with straps, but again, I got this used, so I don't know for sure the exact configuration that comes. And this is the modular pack with Beaver. Despite what the label says, it's a Beavertail and not an actual beaver. Looking at the Platatac real quick, because I forgot to give you the actual name, I have the UK Bullock. There's a couple different versions of this. It's the Echo Hydration Pack. So that is the smaller Eagle option, and now we will look at the biggest of all of them. All right, so looking at this thing, this is the Eagle DG Backpack EOD Molle system. All right, and this thing is significantly bigger, several inches taller. It's wider. It has a legitimate waist belt on it. It is not Molle compatible, but you can see it has spacer mesh and some pretty legitimate shoulder straps on it. All right, so this is a standalone pack. The waist belt, however, is removable if that's something you want to do. Looking at the front face of this thing, you still have that small pocket. Again, no internal organization. This one is much more similar in size to the Platatac, at least the way it looks to me. Right? You have zipper access to your Beavertail. So if you had some cold weather gear underneath your Chia or something along those lines, you could access that without removing everything above it. So that is kind of nifty. And then you can see down here by the zip tie, the Beavertail itself is removable. It zips all the way up to the top of the mesh, and you can pull that completely off if that's something you want to do. Looking at the side pockets here, you can see those are pretty big. I should have brought an Nalgene back here with me to see if that fits, but I'm pretty confident it does. And the reason I say that is because it has this padded sleeve on both sides, so you can drop some of your more sensitive equipment in there, and it's well padded. I believe these were originally designed for PVS 14s, but it looks big enough you could put a lot of stuff in there. Maybe a small spotting scope or a thermal, something along those lines. Moving up the pack, the Beavertail again has that smaller pocket on the front of it, which again only goes to the stitch line there. I'm not going to load this out because there's no question that it'll fit everything. The main pack body has a pack that again only goes about as deep as my hand. On the side of this thing, there's some Molle daisy chain there, and I'm sorry I forgot, that is also on the smaller Eagle. And then opening this thing up, if you can see in there, you have, again, the zipper to get to your frame sheet. You've got your hydration sleeve here, and no other internal organization in this thing at all. Which is a little odd, because this thing's pretty big. You could have put like some Molle on this or something to keep some tools from falling to the bottom. That would have been kind of nice to see. Right. Looking at the top of this thing, you do have some routing for hydration port there. So that's there. You do have a nice handle, and your daisy chain continues across the top of the pack. All right. So that is the Eagle EOD Beavertail, the Eagle Modular with Beavertail, otherwise known as the Yote, as far as I'm aware. There might be a little bit of differences there that I don't know of. And the Platatac Echo Hydration Pack. I will say, for the money and accessibility, the Platatac is real tough to beat. All right, brand new, these things are less than $200. When I got it, it was closer to $100. Granted, you have to ship it from Australia, so you got to weigh that into that. But Platatac is pretty quick with their shipping. The Yotes are pretty common, and you can get them for 150 bucks used if you can find them. I don't know what they retail at, but I don't think it's insanely high. And then the actual EOD pack, you can find them used, but they get pretty pricey. So that's more of like a unit purchase type thing. I paid $200 for mine, but I've seen them on eBay for significantly more than that, and I have no idea what they retail at. So thanks for your time, guys. Hopefully that answered some questions. Hopefully it answered the questions of the dude that sent me the message. And I appreciate you guys watching my videos. Thanks. Bye. Real quick, as a quick addition here, guys, just in case anybody is about that Mimi life and likes Pimp My Ride, if you like to Beavertail while you Beavertail, you can fit your Platatac inside the Beavertail of the Eagle Yote, so that you can pack while you pack and ruck while you ruck. All right, just kidding, guys. Appreciate you watching.